Aquarius, welcome into steampunkpsyche. If you are brand new here, thanks for joining me. If you are returning or if you're a subscriber, cool. Thank you so very much. Listen, if you're cross-watching, I just laid out some new videos, so you can go check those out in my playlist under the individual signs. I also have done mutable, cardinal, and fixed signs. I did collective reading, and then I also did ones where you can, they're time stamped. So if you're not too lazy, you can use your finger and slip and slide. Just take a second to come into the channel. But Aquarius, thank you so much for being here. We're going to get into your reading. The Celtic Cross, okay? We're going to take a look at your present energy. We're going to take a look at your crossing challenge. We're going to move all the way through the list down to your hopes, fears, your worries, and then finally your outcome, okay? We may or may not clarify. Sometimes the cross just speaks and says what it needs to, so take what resonates with you. Don't try to make any of this energy fit, okay? They're just cards, they're just energies, but we're going to find out what is absolutely in your present energy, Aquarius. What is in Aquarius present energy at the moment, right now? What do they need to, what needs to be revealed to the Aquarians, okay? Two cards. Two cards popped out. Actually, three, I'm lying to you, I'm sorry. Three cards came out. The first card to come out was the Three of Cups. Okay? We could be talking about a collaboration of some kind. We could be talking about third-party influences in your present energy. We could talk about reciprocated action or emotions. A sisterhood, joining a community of some kind. There are lots of possibilities, so I'm going to keep on rocking. Present energy seems to be the guarded or wounded presence, okay? Perhaps these are wounds from the past or whatever. But in your present energy, it's bringing up a kind of a guardedness, okay? But you're showing up. Perhaps this could be some event that you're needing to go to that has a little bit of an effect or affects you in some way. This could be like we're about to enter into, for some, the Christmas holidays, and you're going to gather around with this community of people or family, friends, sisters, brothers, doesn't matter, uncles, aunts, cousins, whatever. And there's some guardedness about this, and it could be as simple as just not really wanting to be around family. But I feel like with here we go, get it in focus here, with Queen of Swords, okay? I feel like your present energy is, I'm afraid if I get around this guardedness, I'm going to say something, okay? The Queen, absolutely, I'm going to keep that on the top for your present energy, okay? We'll hide the other ones, okay? But I feel like what the Queen says is, I'm about to say something to your ass, and you're going to hear about it. Now, this could be a feud or an argument or something from family. It could be that somebody's showing up that, you once dated, and now they're dating your cousin. It could be something as simple as that. We don't know. But that seems to be your present energy. So, Aquarius, you guys are supposed to be the ebb and flow of life. Let it flow, let it go. So, anyway, that seems to be your energy. So, what we're going to take a look at now is your number 2 card, the crossing, your challenge. What seems to be challenging you? And it looks like we already saw that in your present energy, what's challenging you. But what is crossing you? What's your crossing challenge, okay? What's the movement right now for Aquarius? What seems to be the most high priority of movement in Aquarius's timeline right here? Okay. Right now, the Queen of Cups is showing up, okay? So in your present timeline, there could be some type of, you have an intuition about something. You know something. Like I said earlier, I kind of got the idea with the Three of Cups and then the guardedness that you know something about a situation. The Cups talks about the emotional stance, the emotional side. So your crossing challenge is going to be whether or not to believe this intuition, okay? To believe or trust. It seems to be like there may be an energy of trust here. So, Aquarius, I'm not sure. You'll have to apply that to yourself about this particular situation or whatever it is. So, we're going to keep on rocking. But that is your challenge. The Queen of Cups is challenging your own intuition. Maybe you're questioning over and over again about this, So, your number 3 card, the foundation, what lies underneath. This could be shadow aspect. We did see the wands like that, so the guardedness, but you're showing up, right? So what lies underneath? What's the foundation of this situation here? What is the basis for Aquarius, okay, in this situation? Okay, a sudden death, okay, the Ten of Swords. This could be somebody has crossed you, somebody that, was close to you or something like that. But the ending, okay, something came to a sudden stop. Something came to an end. And it makes sense with that, the first three cards that popped out as your present energy, okay? You're trying to speak volumes here. So what lies underneath is that whatever it is, it's over with. And like I said, you did have the swords, right? The Queen of Swords. Okay. So something about the Queen of Swords here. Yes, she is a queen. Okay. But the Queen of Swords is she's not soft-spoken like the king could be. And perhaps, the king is, he rules the kingdom and he has to do things that most people don't. Okay. But the queen says, I ain't got patience and time for this, bud. I love you, husband or whatever, but, enough already. A done deal. So I said that to say that with that sudden death, I feel like perhaps there was some words, some actions that took place and you ended something, okay? That's just my intuition on this, but maybe it applies, maybe it doesn't. So we'll keep going here. So the number 4 card talks about Aquarius, the recent past, okay? Something in the recent past that's behind you now, okay? So what's behind Aquarius? I can't do that. That was a bad shuffle. Here we go. Okay, what's behind Aquarius? What's behind the recent past? The recent past was a new beginning or an ending. Okay, it came in the upright position, so I'm going to take it as a new beginning. The Fool is the first card in the tarot, representing the journey. Okay, the Fool is a very young spirit as well. There's a newness to something, so something new could have taken place, right? The Fool represents for your recent past that it could have been a relationship of some kind that you're trying to focus on, okay? Or that had your major attention, a focus. With the swords, could have been some kind of, like I said, an argument, a fight, something took place. But the Fool represents that, camaraderie. It also talks about, in this position, I'm going to wait. I'm going to let number 5 talk about it. So number 5 talks about your possibility. Okay. I've got a hunch on something, but it talks about the possibilities of what could be. Okay. So in Aquarius's energy here, what could be right now? What is above the Aquarian? Okay. I bet this was an argument over some person, okay? King of Cups shows up and says, hey, I am very emotionally astute, okay? This could be the possibility that we were looking at with the Three of Cups situation, third party, somebody involved that caused something, a breakup, a disconnect of some kind that caused the end of this relationship, okay? It was brand new, it was working out, everything was going good. The King of Cups represents, that fire, passion, romance, everything, right? The whole package. And that makes sense too. And intuitively, I think you knew about it. Perhaps a boyfriend came in that, overstepped his boundary, or girlfriend, a situation. Third party, could be throuple type relationship, polyamorous, polygamist, whatever. I'm not a judge. I don't care about any of that. So, but something happened, and I think it's recalling this Three of Cups scenario. So I feel like maybe third party situation here. Somebody crossed the line. Somebody overstepped their boundaries in that brand new beginning, and it caused a sudden death, okay? And intuitively speaking, I feel like this is what you're needing to find out. You had the Queen of Swords there too. So it's like perhaps there was an exchange of can we have a talk? Or it was I'm about to knock your ass out. One of those. I kind of got that energy too. So with the sudden death card, whatever it was, it happened very quickly, and it caused a an ending. Okay, so that was the near future scenario. Okay, and the possibilities. Yeah, the possibilities of what could be. So near future is right now. So is this King of Cups coming back into your future? This could be male, female, it doesn't matter. Romance, passion, love, or a situationship type scenario. What's in the near future for Aquarius here? How about that? How about a union of some kind, a coming back together, right? So this could have been a situation where you've been in a detached stage if you're into the twin flame journey or something like that. The disconnect, that happens in that scenario where you feel like things they start off wonderful, then all of a sudden there's like nothing. There's no communication. There's no cut off completely. If that's what you're on, the twin flame journey, it could be just soul contract, karmic contract, that type of scenario. Um, you do the homework on that because there's just so much information out there. You know this, but whatever it was, now we're talking about this near future is coming back into union. Okay, now this could be that you guys finally have that talk that Ten of Swords caused, and like I said, I presented you with some other scenarios. You're just going to have to fill in the blanks, but whatever it is, I feel like there is a union coming back of some kind, and that could be that talk that we were talking about. This could be a brand new situation because your near future talks about a King of Cups. So, excuse me, not bad manners, just good coffee. I just slugged it down wrong. Okay, so the union that is coming is quick and in the near future. Okay. So now Aquarius, the next card talks about the self. We're going to find out how or what your stance is in this. Are you prepared for this new connection or this new romance, this new flame like the Fool was in the past? Or is that sudden death card prevented this, or what's taking place? So how are you showing up in this? What's your stance on this, Aquarius? Okay. You're the King of Wands stance in this, okay? The King of Wands is emotionally intuitive as well, just like the Queen of Cups. And it's ironic that we have the Queen of Cups as your challenge card. And so what this kind of signifies to me is that you're wondering if this romance could be fired back up. This is a fiery sign. He's got salamanders, okay, which is a symbol of fire, and it's a type of, I can exist in the fire. I like to play in the fire. I'm a little bit of a type of person that I enjoy a little bit of action. I enjoy a little bit of passion. I enjoy a little bit of commotion in my life. Sometimes a little bit of turmoil can stir things up and kind of get the blood pumping, and that feels kind of good sometimes. So there's definitely this romantic gesture. He's dressed very elegantly, right? This could be a very beautiful person. This could be a beautiful male. Doesn't have to be. It could be in the female position as well, passive. But the King of Wands has a beauty about it. So there is definitely this King of Cups energy here that says there's a passion or a romance or something like that. Or you're that type of person. You lead with your sexuality, and perhaps you're just, been daydreaming about this romance, or something like that. About this union coming together, does it lead to romance? That type of energy. So, but emotionally wise, very, very astute. Okay. So cool. So that's you. Now, Aquarius, this is your environment. Okay. This is your number 8 card talking about what is external, okay? What kind of energy surrounds you right now? Where are you at in this? Your energies, what kind of influences type scenario, things that are around you, okay? Okay. There appears to be a kind of walking away. It's like intuitively, because we did see the Queen of Cups as your challenge, okay? So this is not a terrible card. This actually says that there's boredom in your situation, okay? There is around you. It's like you're emotionally unfulfilled, and it makes sense because it followed the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is an emotionally astute person, meaning it takes a particular type of person to keep up with this person who is emotionally intuitive. They're in tune with themselves, right? So if you're surrounding yourself with a bunch of people who are, let's say they're just super selfish, materialistic, this kind of scenario, not that that's a terrible thing. I'm just saying that you're emotionally unfulfilled. So you're moving out and away from it. Okay. There's also a little bit of an aspect of a shadow there that's kind of lingering. You know, you have the crescent moon, the moon. The moon exposes the darkness, exposes the things that could be in your way, emotionally speaking. But I feel like in this situation, that it's more talking about, Aquarius, the fact that you're emotionally unfulfilled, okay? And you have a need to move on, move away, and explore. You know, you did have the Fool card in the recent past. You have the King of Cups with this new situation, relationship, followed with the Four of Wands. Remember, so I kind of feel like you're walking away and moving towards maybe perhaps this emotional fulfillment. That if this is romance, because the King of Wands also talks about this passion, fiery romance. So you may be moving towards that. Excuse me. Okay, so your number 9 card, we're going to talk about now your hopes, your fears, your wishes, worries. Aquarius, what are your hopes? What are your fears? What are your wishes? Or what are your worries? Okay. What are the hopes, wishes, or fears, or worries for Aquarius? Okay. Okay. The Hierophant. Okay. We could be talking about Taurus. Okay. In your signs, type deal, fixed sign. Could be talking about an emotional, spiritual. I had to stop and pause for a second. I might need to clarify that. Yeah, you know, a traditional relationship, you could be questioning that. You could be questioning whether or not to take a traditionalist stance on this. The Hierophant represents like I said, the acolytes that talk about their students of the spiritual. You know, the Hierophant is the dominant of spirituality. For instance, pertaining to, say, awakenings, uh, enlightenment, um, diving into different types of spiritual aspects on particular things. Okay. But in today's society, there is a particular look upon putting people in a box. So, in other words, I could study a particular religion, but that doesn't make me this particular religion, because I also dive into other religions too. So there is a traditionalist kind of viewpoint that is taking place. Now, the Hierophant in reverse position also talks about an unconditional, type of a relationship, or something that's non-traditional. You know, like I said, could be talking about throuple, or could be talking about polygamy or polyamorous or whatever it is. But perhaps there's something about this relationship that you're walking away from or moving into, could have maybe a non-traditionalist type view. And I kind of feel like maybe that might be it, but it doesn't have to be. This doesn't have to apply. It just could be that maybe you're really looking at the spiritual aspect, really with your intuition, because you did have the Queen of Cups as your challenge. So it's really asking to intuitively look at that spiritual side, and kind of let that guide you as to the direction in which this goes. Perhaps, I don't know. It's up to you. It's how you perceive this. So your number 10 card talks about the outcome and the direction for Aquarius. So what is the outcome or the direction in this situation here? Wish fulfilled. It's the wish fulfilled card, okay? So I think whatever this is, I feel like your intuition is correct in saying, I've been listening to my intuition. I think this is a romance. I think that I'm walking away from this boredom type scenario, and I'm just moving on into passion, following my passions, following my desires, following my heart. Now, the Nine of Cups represents wish fulfilled, yes. Though the Nine of Cups also represents kind of a temporary state, okay? Things come and they go. And the nine of cups knows this, okay? He's not sitting on a permanent throne of any kind, okay? He has fulfilled. It also talks about overindulging in joy, okay? In the reverse position, it could talk about, you know, an overindulgence in perhaps any kind of thing that's keeping you from your higher self type scenario. It could be drugs, alcohol, any of that kind of things. But in this position, I really feel like it's talking about wish fulfilled, that you're moving out and away towards your desires, your passions. You've accumulated some cups. You're not afraid to move towards those things and overindulge in joy and peace and happy. So this could very well just mean that I'm done with being around people that don't emotionally fulfill me. Okay. And I feel like the cross is spoken. And here's why. Because the King of Wands, okay? You had that King of Wands look. And you also had the King of Cups. So they're both romance. They're both emotional relationships that are fulfilling, okay? And the Hierophant came to say, pay attention to what fulfills you, okay? That is part of your spiritual journey. That is part of this, walking away from the things that no longer serve you and moving towards the things that make you feel fulfilled, overjoyed, okay? And the Nine of Cups spoke on that. Aquarius, cool read, right? I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out my playlists, okay? I just dropped some other videos. Maybe go check those out, and it may verify or, you know, kind of clarify some more information. If you like the video, share it with some people that you know. Like it, thumb it up, okay? We're trying to grow this community. Leave comments in the community section here. So let me know what you want to see. Let me, we'll smoke a cigarette, drink some coffee together. We'll talk about our day or our night, however your evening went, whatever it is. But anyway, Aquarius, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming, and I hope I'll get to see you on the next one, okay? All right, bye-bye.